Right, well, college campuses have long been incubators for protest movements, places where causes of all shapes and sizes find a voice. But now one new advocacy group at a prestigious university is stirring up controversy over equal rights for men. The University of Chicago helped launch many powerful men, 2 sitting Supreme Court justices, a billionaire governor, an attorney general, and more Nobel Prize winners than any other school. But these days, some students believe the college isn't doing enough to support the guys.
It's very easy to overlook some of the issues that pertain specifically to men.
So junior Steve Saltarelli created a new on-campus organization called Men in Power. The goal is to help and encourage men to aspire towards positions of influence.
We're just trying to cultivate leadership within men and hopefully provide some better men for society. If there are more good men in society, then everyone benefits.
The university has 9 female advocacy organizations. This would be the first for men. But some are questioning whether it's even necessary. Others are calling it male chauvinism.
If it's a thing to put down women or to celebrate men being in power, which historically they've always been in power, I don't think that's really appropriate.
To me, the name implies male supremacy.
Of course, gender roles have evolved over the years. Women now far outpace men in getting college degrees, and the current recession has only intensified that shift. For the first time ever, more men than women are in the unemployment lines. 9.4% of males are currently out of work, compared to 7.1% of women. And more families are starting to look like the Hammonds. After losing his job at a tech firm, Chuck stays home, making his wife Debbie the sole breadwinner.
My dad kind of gave me that arched eyebrow. There's definitely old school thought process on staying at home and being a male where you're supposed to be the provider and everything.
That kind of role reversal can have a dramatic effect on the male psyche.
I think that men have a core need to be needed. They've got to feel needed. And when they've lost their job, they've really lost their main purpose in the family.
Men account for half of the world, and these are real issues, and we feel that we deserve a voice.
Boy, this sparked quite a conversation around a weekend GMA staff room yesterday. And joining us now to talk about this further is Warren Farrell, author of many books, including The Myth of Male Power. Good morning, Dr. Farrell. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure.
I have to admit, for a moment when we started reading about this, I thought we were being punked. It seems ludicrous at its face, but by my own reaction may be saying something. This movement, this men's movement, is legitimate. It's been around for a few years. What do you make of this group at the University of Chicago?
Well, it's really important that the whole question of male and female roles begins to be discussed, and so that's really a good news about the group. But if the group is just focused on men preparing for professions, it's missing the bigger contribution equivalent that men need to do for ourselves that women did for themselves. Women asked, the women's movement, the gift of the women's movement was saying to women, ask yourself what you want to be. Don't tell yourself ahead of time, I have to be a mother, I have to be in the workplace. Men today in 2009 are pretty much where women were in 1959. We're about 50 years behind women in terms of asking, who do I want to be? If I want to be a full-time dad, there's not permission for me to do that. The mom can say I can be full-time in the workplace or full-time with the children or do some combination of both. Right. Whereas the man says, I have 3 options too. I can work full-time, I can work full-time, or I can work full-time. And so it's these questions that really that men need to be asking. Men are committing suicides at much higher rates than women are. When women and men separate or divorce, men commit suicides at 10 times the rate. 82% of the people who have lost jobs since the recession are males. Something's going on that needs to be paid attention to, but it's not men imitating climbing a ladder. It's men asking, who do I want to be with my life? That's what the women's movement gave to women, but nobody has given that to men. And that's the beginning of the process of what a Men in Power group will really be investigating. If it's doing a job of out-of-the-box thinking, not just imitating the old male thinking.
But how much of this, I don't want to make the caveman argument here, but how much of this is hardwired into males as the hunters as opposed to women being nurturers? Earning equals status and status equals sex, so a lot of it is biological.
Absolutely. And that's where both sexes have to change. Women can't just respond to men who are performers, or men will feel only lovable when we perform and unlovable when we lose a job. And so it's not just, we're all in this boat together, and the women's movement taught women to row on the left and the right side of the boat, but men still only know how to row on the right side. And the problem with that is that when women exercise their full range of power, the boat goes in circles because they're both rowing on one side because men don't know how to switch to raising children or rowing on the other side of the boat.
It's a fascinating, interesting topic. We appreciate your insight. Warren Farrell, thank you.
Thank you.